right now. As you're watching this video, your employees are using AI tools with your company data, and you have no idea what they're doing with it. A recent survey from McKinsey showed that 90% of employees are already using AI at work. You might think, wow, that's great news, right? Not so fast. Only 13% of companies have any formal AI strategy, much less training program. That means there's an 87% chance your company is flying blind with the most important tech shift, I think, since the internet itself. Stick with me for the next 10 minutes or so because I'm about to show you exactly how to turn your biggest liability into your greatest competitive advantage. Plus, I'll reveal the 4-pillar framework that's helped dozens of companies transform AI chaos into systematic dominance. But first, here's a $2 million mistake that almost destroyed a client I was working with. Hey, I'm Craig Hewitt, and for the last couple of years, I've been in boardrooms helping companies from 50-person CPA firms to 5,000-employee corporations navigate the AI revolution. And frankly, what I'm seeing is terrifying all across the country. Every corporate leader, from managers to CEOs, know that they have to do something about AI. But from most of the roadmaps I've seen, from just ideas to actually implementation, they're really lacking, to say the least. So back to that accounting firm I mentioned. The managing partner was really proud of his team embracing AI. He thought they were ahead of the curve, and we did an audit and discovered that employees had shared over 50,000 pieces of confidential client data with ChatGPT in their personal, free accounts. Tax returns, financial statements, merger documents, corporate secrets, all sitting in OpenAI's training data forever. Liability, don't you think? Over $2 million in potential regulatory fines. Because look, there are ways to use ChatGPT and other AI tools where this data stays secure, and there are ways where it's not. And now look, these employees weren't bad actors. They're good people trying to do their jobs better. They just had no idea what they were doing. It's really sad. And I guarantee you, 100% this is happening in your company right now. And look, just as an aside, if you want me to help you address this and fix it inside your company, I'll tell you about my corporate AI training program at the end of this video. But I think first you need to understand exactly what's at stake here. Because what I see over and over is your employees think they're being productive with AI, but they're really creating 3 massive problems. Problem number 1 is data hemorrhaging. Just like I talked about before, people inside your company are uploading sensitive data to public AI tools because nobody taught them not to. Proprietary processes, client information, strategic plans, financials, all being fed into systems that store and potentially use that data forever. Problem number 2 is this productivity theater. I worked with a marketing agency recently where employees spent 2 hours trying to get ChatGPT to write a single email that would have taken any normal human 10 minutes to write themselves. They thought they were being innovative and productive, where actually they were destroying their productivity at work. Just as an aside, I'm sure this has never happened to you, right? No, me neither. But we're all getting better, and that's the point here. And problem number 3 is the speed gap. While your employees fumble with AI like teenagers in their first car, your competitors are building systematic advantages that'll be impossible to catch up to. You see, another study from McKinsey showed something that frankly terrified me when I saw it. The time between AI being a competitive advantage and becoming a competitive necessity is measured in weeks, not months or years. With the internet, which I think is the closest analogy to kind of the shift that we're going through right now with AI, it's just massive. With the internet, companies had years to figure out a digital strategy. Mobile, another pretty similar example, we had months. With AI, we have weeks. And every day you wait to properly train your people and for them to become a competitive asset is a day your competitors pull further ahead. But here's the thing most company leaders miss completely. Your employees think they're good at AI because they can get ChatGPT to write that email we were talking about, right? To me, this is like thinking you're good at driving because you can start the car. Is this the definition of good that we want to relay to our team members? Not at my company. Most employees use less than 10% of AI's capabilities. And as an aside, I think you probably do too, and that's why you're here right now. And they're probably doing it in ways that create more problems than they solve. They're using what I call like caveman prompting, right? So kind of just grunting at AI and hoping for the best. They'll type, hey, write me a report about sales, and wonder why the output looks like generic garbage. It's not really their fault. Nobody's taught them. Where else in your company do you just expect your employees to do great things? Nowhere, probably. The reality is, I think most folks, they just don't have a fundamental understanding of things like prompt engineering, context setting, output formatting, AI limitations and risks, APIs and automations, when and how AI hallucinates and how to prevent that from happening, and how to fact check the outputs that you're getting from AI. I worked with a big marketing agency where this exact problem was bleeding tens of thousands of dollars from their business. Employees used AI for client presentations, right? But because they couldn't prompt effectively or verify the outputs that were coming for their LLM, they delivered work that was both generic and factually incorrect. The client fired them. And the creative director told me, we thought AI would make us faster, but it's making us slower, and our work is getting worse. That's just not what should be happening. This is the paradox killing companies right now. AI has incredible potential, but without proper training, it makes things worse. Untrained employees using AI are like giving power tools to people who've never used them, like my kids maybe. But here's the most important opportunity most companies miss completely. When employees are not trained properly, really trained, not just a 30-minute demo, you see a 40, 50, 60% improvement in productivity. Employees doing in an hour what used to take a day or a week. So, sound good? You want to see how to make this happen inside your company? Here's my 4-part framework that's transformed over 50 companies I work with, and I call it the PACE method: policy, ability, cases, and evolution. Let's start with policy, right? Most companies get this backward. They let employees use AI randomly, just whatever they want, and try to create policies after problems emerge. It's like teaching traffic laws after 6 months of driving. It's like nobody does this in the real world, right? Why are we doing this with AI? So policy first means establishing clear AI guidelines in your business and approve tools before anyone does anything. Data classification protocols, approved tool usage guidelines. I was working with a law firm recently, and we found that there were 12 unauthorized AI tools being used inside the company every day. Some were even sharing privileged client information. Others were using AI for legal research without knowing AI can hallucinate case law that doesn't exist. We consolidated a bit down to 3 approved enterprise-grade tools. Productivity increased and risk plummeted. Pillar 2 is ability development. And this is where like 90% of companies fail in my experience. They think AI training means showing people how to log into ChatGPT and then setting them on their merry way. That's just not how we roll, okay? Real AI ability development means systematic training on prompt engineering, understanding capabilities and limitations, verification techniques, and advanced methods like chain of thought prompting. But here's the key. This training must be role-specific and use case-driven. The AI skills a marketing manager needs are completely different from that of an accountant. Generic AI training is basically worthless beyond just the basics. It has to be tailored to specific roles and business processes. Pillar 3 are cases. This separates companies that get enormous ROI from those that kind of just waste time and flounder. You must systematically identify all of the highest impact AI applications for each role. Sales teams, AI-powered lead qualification and personalized outreach. Customer service, intelligent ticket routing and response drafting. Finance, automated report generation and anomaly detection. HR, resume screening and interview question generation. But like 90% of companies try to like boil the ocean. They want AI for everything all at once, and that's just a recipe for failure anywhere in business. Start with the highest impact, lowest risk use cases where AI delivers immediate and measurable results. Pillar 4 is evolution. AI evolves faster than any technology in human history. That's why I'm doing 100 days of AI, because there's 100 days worth of stuff to cover just right now. And the capabilities available today are dramatically different from 6 months ago, and 6 months from now will make the tools we use today look primitive. Your AI training can't be a one and done kind of thing. You need a system for staying current, regular skills updates, and process for evaluating new tools as they come. Here's the critical insight for you, right? Companies that win the AI race aren't the ones with the best technologies. They're the ones with the best trained people. Technology is becoming commoditized. And maybe interestingly, the advantage is human capability. And when I implemented this PACE framework at a 150-person CPA firm, they saw a 30% increase in capacity without hiring anyone, 40% reduction in tax prep time. They also saw higher value advisory work because AI handled a lot of the routine stuff that they just don't want to mess with anyhow. But here's one thing that determines success or failure. Implementation is everything. I've seen perfect strategies fail due to poor implementation and mediocre strategies that succeed because of smart execution. So I like to start with a pilot of like 10 to 20 AI curious employees. Choose people from different departments, include managers and individual contributor level folks. Get C-suite kind of sponsorship on this, right? It can't be just like an AI or an HR program. It has to be company-wide. Focus on high impact, low risk use cases first, like, hey, draft me an email, generate me a report, research these tasks. Avoid things that are live or customer facing or legally sensitive until we all develop our skills and get comfortable. And I like to measure specific metrics from day one, like time saving, quality improvements, error rates, productivity gains, because just like anything in our business, without measurement, we're just flying blind. Then we scale systematically once that pilot succeeds. Train the trainers, create internal champions, and build feedback loops. But I think a lot of corporate leaders are like waiting for this perfect moment, and it just doesn't exist, right? Every day you delay, competitors are just getting further ahead. Every week in planning meetings is a week that employees continue using AI poorly and against the rules of your company. I worked with a regional bank that was terrified of AI due to regulatory concerns. And while they had committee meetings about policy, competitors used AI for customer service, loan processing, and fraud detection. And by the time they acted, they were 18 months behind and lost market share. So let's not be that company, right? Because the fact is, your employees are already using AI. The data shows that. And today, the question isn't whether we should embrace AI. It's whether you'll lead this transformation strategically or kind of just let it happen passively and chaotically inside your company. Companies that master AI training in the next 90 days will dominate for the next decade. 50% more productive employees, higher quality work delivered faster, more complex projects with the same headcount. Companies that don't, well, they'll become the business school case studies about ignoring disruption in their industry. And so here's what I want you to do right now. If you're serious about transforming your company's AI capability, if you want to implement this exact framework, if you want me to help you turn AI chaos into a competitive advantage, click the link in the description below to learn more about my corporate AI training program. I work with companies from big to small. For systematic AI transformation. We start with a comprehensive AI audit. We develop customized training programs, train pilot groups, and then scale across the organization with ongoing support. But I have to tell you, I only work with companies who are serious about this transformation, and it has to start from the top. This is not about playing with cool technology. This is a fundamental business transformation, determining your competitive advantage and position for the next decade. Every day you delay is a day competitors get ahead. Look, this AI revolution is happening, right? With or without you. The only question is whether you'll lead or be left behind.